Hey everyone, it's Megan with AboveRubyStudio.com. Thank you guys for joining me for another Tuesday tutorial. I'm really excited because today I'm going to be featuring the Megan Elizabeth nesting dies. That's me. I'm really happy. I have 3 different shapes that we all use all the time and love so much. I have a scallop circle called All Around. I have a rectangle frame called Frame It. And then there is a scalloped square called Scalloped. And you can do so much with them. And what makes these kind of fun and uniquely different is that they're done in a color that we all love, well most of us love, having in our scrapbook and craft rooms, the color pink. How fun is it to have tools that match the other decorations in your craft room and maybe one of your favorite colors and just a pop of color. So I'm really excited that we were able to do that and develop that for you guys. They are available right now in the AboveRubyStudio.com store as well as at CraftyCorner.com. PlayingWithScissors.com, CricutDirect.com, the Cuttlebug, and many other retail locations as well. So there's lots of stores, lots of exciting things. There's another retailer even coming in Canada, which you'll hear more about later. But let's get started. I posted this picture on Facebook of this card that I created. I used paper layers, 1 sheet of paper layers, layered everything up with some Megan Elizabeth adhesive combo pack, put a sparkle light in the center. Let's get started creating something very similar to that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started creating a card using the nesting dies. There are various different ways, tons of different ways to be able to create with these using them individually, just one. You get 5 dies in one set, and they vary from about 3.5 inches is the biggest one all the way down to 1 inch. So you get really great variety, and they work great with paper layers because 3.5 inches, with it being a 4-inch square, you get a lot of extra room. You could cut out the square itself, and then my nesting dies fit perfectly with paper layers so that you can use a sheet of paper layers like I did here. I used the Waiting in Line sheet to create this, and I used all the circles. So here's the scallop circle, set that aside. You have the rectangle frame, like I said, that's called Frame It. And then we're going to use the scalloped square today. And I'm just going to use 2, maybe 3 of the sizes. I want to use this middle size here and the smallest one. I might use one in between. I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to start with these 2. I'm also going to use paper layers Fond of Boo, and the color scheme is called My Favorite Jeans. And all the colors from this come from, inspired from my favorite outfit that I wear, and it's a pair of blue jeans, and the shirt that goes with it, all these other colors kind of match along. So if you have blue jeans, dark pair of blue jeans that you're trying to scrapbook, this might be the perfect paper for you. All right, what we're gonna do, because we're gonna run it through our Cuttlebug machine today, I need to actually cut out my squares. And I'm going to use my Purple Cow Trim It, which is my new paper cutter, and I love it because it's so sleek. That's all the space it takes up. I can slide it on a shelf or do whatever I want with it, and then flip out both the wings, and then I have 24 inches. Actually, I think it's more than that because it goes to 13 and a half on both ends. So I have a great wingspan. The other thing that's really cool is when it's in this dock, you can turn this to get 9 different cut settings. So you can get really cool different edges, you can get perforations, you can get kind of a wavy scallop, you can get just your normal straight line, or you can get your double cut line. I love this thing, and you just switch this, and the replacement blades, you have to replace the whole housing, but it's not that expensive. I'm thrilled with this Purple Cow. All right, so we're gonna trim this up. This, like I said, is my new one, and you just kind of lift up the little protective arms here, and then you can kind of measure right in. You can use the side arms to see. I'm going to go up 4 inches. And it is a rotary cutter. So you need to press down. And then just return it to its home. And lift up the arms again. Place it in here. Press it down. Now I'm going to just stack 2 pieces up and do a couple quick swipes to make sure I get all the colors that I want. And you can just lift your paper, making sure that it slides real easy without getting snagged. All right, and then the other thing that's really cool is there is a cutting bar that's in here. You can flip and turn and twist this just by popping these out. I'm not going to do that today, but you can pop these out, and then it really extends the life of your whole trimmer, and it's just so convenient. I love this thing. All right, so that's my plug on a new product for today, because I really like it. All right, so there are my different colors that we're going to be working with. And I'm going to start with a card base, 8.5 by 11 cut in half to be our A2 size card. Here's my score buddy. I'm just going to score it. This is really thick white cardstock. So this is like super heavyweight cardstock, which is fine. Here's my white base. Now we're going to create what we want for the artwork. Now I'm going to do 4 squares. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do the 2 greens and the teal and the pink. And if you notice, I have all of the little, like, they're actually bamboo shoots that are all in a line here. That's why it's called Fond of Boo for bamboo. And we're going to take, let me see. I need to stack, sandwich together and use my cutting plates for the dies. So what we're going to start with, I'm using my Cuttlebug today. So I'm going to start with the standard A plate. Then my tip, instead of using a shim, a lot of times you have to use shims for the product, for the nesting dies, or any die really that is just a small thin die like these are. These are really thin and lightweight. They don't take up much space and they're really great to have on hand. They need some kind of shim to get enough pressure to go under this rolling bar. So what I use is just one of my embossing folders. I use that as a shim. So make sure you place that down on top of your A plate, then a B plate. Then you're going to need to hold on to your other B plate, but what we're going to do is first place down our paper, and I'm going to place down 2 of my dies, and I'm going to place them face down, so the smooth side is facing up, and I'm just going to put them both on here next to each other. Either way, you can do it however you want, and you could do a bunch if you wanted to do a couple. Let's move this out just a little bit so I can make sure I get this B plate on top. You want the other B plate on top, and then you're going to crank it through. So just place it in. It's going to be a little stiffer without using the shim, but you're going to get a great cut too. So you can use shims, but this is just a way to save money, because most people, if you have the Cuttlebug, you have a couple embossing folders laying around. So if you pick these up, you don't have to feel like, oh, I've got to go buy something else too. No, just use what you have. So then they just pop right on out of the paper layers sheet. No problem, completely clean cuts. And you can see there's that little tiny embossed edge for just that little bit of extra texture in there, which I love. It looks like a little postage stamp. It's so great. Okay, so then you can turn the direction that it's facing too if you want to do different direction squares. You know, you can basically do that on your sheet when you place it on your card too. So either way, we're just using this today. Crank each one through. They pop so easily out. And you don't have to do each one, you know, you could do different sizes. You don't have to do them all the same. Just make sure that that smooth end is facing up towards you or facing in the direction that you don't want it to cut, so that that textured edge is always facing towards your paper, because otherwise you'll just leave extra big indents inside your cutting plates. And mine are really old and a little bit warped, so that's kind of part of my problem too. My B plates are, let's see, 3 years old now? 2 years old, 2.5 years old, and I've never bought new. So they're kind of getting to that point in life where they need to be replaced, because I use them hard and heavy. You can always rotate them, kind of flip it upside down. So if they're warping, just flip them the other way. Sometimes if you don't have your plates exactly lined up, they won't feed through easily, so you just kind of reposition them and then they crank right through for you. Not a lot of effort going into it. You can also use the Vagabond, you can use the Big Shot, you can use any of your machines that run normal dies through with these dies. So you don't have to go buy a special machine, you don't have to just have the Cuttlebug. Alright, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is grab the Crocodile Corner Chomper. I'm going to do the 1/2 inch quarter round. Now like I said, this is really thick paper, and the great thing is, even though I have 2 layers folded over, this Crocodile chomps right through, and I love that. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay, now we're just going to place our squares on here. And really what inspired me to do this card was the fact that I just hung some 12 by 12 paper in 12 by 12 frames on my wall. And I love, love, love how it turned out. Like completely love how it turned out. I'm gonna have them all facing the same way. And you know how sometimes we buy like 12 by 12 sheets of paper, for example? I have this one and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. I don't want to cut it. I don't even know where it came from, so don't ask. Don't comment and ask where this paper is from. I love this paper. I don't want to cut it. Whatever. Hang it in a 12 by 12 frame until you do become sick of it or feel inspired to start creating on it. Hang it on your wall in your room, and well, we'll do another video on that later, but that's just a really good tip. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Megan Elizabeth adhesive squares, which are now available, and I'm just going to peel them off the sheet here one at a time and place them down. Anyway, so the wall art that I just hung inspired me to use squares to do this card. And I am not worried about inking edges or anything on this card. I did ink the edges on this one using the Bachelorette Pink and the Lush, or Limelight, I'm sorry, Limelight Green for my other card, just to get rid of that white core, and the colors coordinate along with paper layers. So even though they might not be a tone on tone match, I made sure that things blend so that even though this green and this green is not the true match to this one, it's of the same family so that they coordinate for both. So you can see on here it's darker around this one but lighter on this one. But if you grab this green and you match it up with this green on Happy Dots paper layers, it's the same family and tone, so it's a more tone on tone feel, more tone on tone feel and look. All right, so now that I have that done, now what I'm going to do is take one of my stamps from the I'm Just Saying stamp set, which is this one right here. There's really cute little sentiments and sayings, and I'm going to actually use the green. It's called Limelight. The ink is not available yet. That's coming soon. We're still in final testing phases. We want to make sure you guys get what we designed is a super, super soft and juicy mini ink edger pad. So it's really designed for more of your inking of edges, even more so than it is for stamping, because it's such a juicy, juicy pad, and it's an extra wet pigment ink that is going to allow you a lot of blendability and workability with sponges and daubers and all kinds of great things like that. So I'm just going to center this. It says, "You're the best." Right on there. Then I'm going to use one of the flowers from the I'm Just Saying set. It's a little hand doodled flower. I'm going to do that in the pink, which is called Bachelorette Pink. And I'm going to go right in the center of my square for this one. Do it again on the center of this one. So when you're using this ink, I would really recommend setting your stamp down and touching it to it so that you can lightly dab it instead of gushing the stamp into the pad, because it's just that juicy. They'll last you a long time. All right, so there's that one and that one. And now I'm going to, let's see, do I want to do the reverse? I think I'm going to do the reverse on this. So we're going to do the pink and the blue in reverse. I'm just going to grab another adhesive square for this. You could use Dimension. Pop one up if you wanted to. Okay, now in this set there's a even smaller flower, which may fit, may not, may not. It's not quite going to fit, but I'm going to set it down here then. And we're going to finish that off with a line of green pearl pen. Love that pearlized look. Now for the center of my two flowers, I'm going to grab sparkle lights, of course. Why wouldn't I? And let's see, let's use Chillax Blue on this one. And let's grab Party Girl. So then we have the blue and the pink. And I'm just gonna adhere that down with, again, an adhesive square. These are so super strong, and you can cut them in half. So if you just grab your tonic shears, cut the sheet right in half. Just peel it off so that you can get the use of two. There are mini ones that are available at Glue Arts right now, and we're working with Glue Arts to put together little combo kits for us too. So that's pretty exciting too. All right, so there is the card for today's Tuesday tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a fabulous day and enjoy the moments. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.